The Dental Brief is brought to you by Omni Premier Marketing and the amazing guests who bring wisdom and advice that you can put to use to take your business and practices to the next level. Find us on Facebook and join the conversation. Get ready to grow because we are kicking off the next episode in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Dental Brief. We're so excited. We're kicking off our fall season, getting back into the swing of things. Kids are back to school in most states. Actually, I think now it's September 20th. It's all states, September 19th. Today's guest, glad to for him to take the time to be here. I think it's going to be a great episode. Matt Hendrickson, go ahead and say hello to everyone.
Hi, everybody. Thanks, Patrick, for having me on.
Yeah, we're glad you're here. Like I said, I think it's going to be a great episode. First, let me go ahead and just kind of give a little bit of introduction for you. Matt, you're the Senior Vice President at diodigitalacademy.com, right? It's spelled D-I-O, digitalacademy.com, but I know we say it Dio, Digital Academy. So tell me, Matt, how'd you get to where you're at today? How'd you get involved in dentistry and helping dentists?
You know, I've got a real passion for dentistry, always have. My father, my grandfather, my uncles were all dentists, and I had planned on going into dentistry myself and actually worked chairside in my dad's dental practice for several years. And during that process, I decided I wanted to get a business degree instead. I kept working in his office and wound up doing a little bit of dental consulting and falling in love with dental technology. And that's all I've done for 30 plus years now.
Yeah. So in your position today and what you guys are doing at Dio Digital Academy, tell me, what are some of the problems and challenges that dentists are facing that they're coming to you for?
Oh, no, thanks for asking. You know, and it's something that's actually, I think, is really exciting. With Dio, and we actually, it's a lot of people in the United States just call us Dio or Dio Navi specifically, as I kind of think the part that people are most interested in. And what Dio Navi does is it makes it possible for clinicians with a wider variety of clinical experience to provide outstanding implant treatment with outstanding outcomes. And it just makes it possible to, frankly, just do better implant treatment with less stress and easier for the doctor.
So one of the problems that I see when it comes to dental implants and being on the marketing side of this business, we get a lot of clients that are like, hey, I want to do a lot more implants. Usually they want to do more implants because they want to increase their net revenue, their gross and net revenue, profitability. They need additional procedures to do. A lot of those dentists may not have a great deal of experience in placing implants at that time. And I think one of the challenges that those dentists can specifically have is not really having enough experience, where it's a little slow for them. The chair time is more than what it probably should be. How can those dentists be helped? What are some of the answers to them? They've taken the classes, they've done the CE. What's the next step in getting really good at doing this?
Man, you really nailed it. Yeah, and that is a really common issue today. You know, the statistics show that, 50% or more of general dentists in the United States want to start placing implants or start placing more implants. And you hit kind of the real challenge, which is, most importantly, they don't want to do that unless they can do outstanding treatment, right? Nobody wants to do treatment that's not good. And in addition to that, the chair time, it can be difficult and it can be daunting. And the neat thing about Dio Navi is it's kind of a case in a box approach. So we make it absolutely as easy and foolproof as is humanly possible, where the doctors can just upload a 3D image to our website. They don't need any special software, no special hardware beyond a cone beam capability. They fill out an online prescription form, and we will from a prosthetically driven perspective, we will plan the ideal location for the final restoration, backward plan to where that means what size implant, where should the implant be. We put together that case for the doctors and then email it back to them. And so they can just, from their computer or even on their phone, review the plan that we've recommended, request any changes. And if they like it, they just check the accept box, and we send them out a box that literally has everything that they need: the proper size implant, proper healing abutment. If they want to do an immediate temporary, it'll even have a custom abutment because of our accuracy, pre-made with a pre-made temporary with a screw access hole. And literally a step-by-step instructions that just walk them through the procedure. The result, tying back into what you mentioned, which is time, is that once a patient is anesthetized, you're typically talking less than 10 minutes of doctor time to actually sit down and place an implant. And with outstanding outcomes, again, they don't have to have big inventories of a bunch of implant stuff, which is one of the other things that kind of can scare some people off from taking the plunge. And it just allows them to, one at a time, just take it on at whatever level they're comfortable with.
Yep. So one of the things that scares me about working in the marketing side of this business, like I said before, is online reviews. And sometimes when procedures are new to a dentist, you'll see some reviews out there that go along with some of those early treatments. How does this help decrease failure? Right. So how does it increase the patient experience, and then how does it decrease implant failure rates?
Good question. So DeoNavi is not really just another guided implant system, because implants and even implant surgical guides are not really new, right? I mean, they've been around for a while. But what DeoNavi does is it increases the accuracy. It's a one point of contact for the doctor, so you're not dealing with a lab and implant supply people and all this other stuff. And by doing it with this process, the accuracy is incredible. Matching surgical kits that they're going to use with the treatment plans that are provided by us back to the doctor. And it just, frankly, it results in incredibly consistent outcomes that are excellent, which, again, like you mentioned, that's the key, is you've got to do good work, right? Or bad reviews will follow. And even more importantly, no provider wants to do work that's not great for their patient.
Right.
It's kind of been fun. We've been able to, using this technique, we have different groups, by the way, everybody from, of course, small individual doctors to Heartland Dental has named us as a diamond trusted partner because of the ability to do kind of what you alluded to, which is multiple providers, multiple experience levels, but the treatment outcomes are excellent to kind of reduce those problems, patient complaints, patient complications, and whatnot.
Sure. So on your website, again, it's diodigitalacademy.com, diodigitalacademy.com. You've got a place on there. There's some great information on there. Of course, you've got why partner with us, which I think people should check out. And then you've also got courses and events. Tell me a little bit more. What are you offering as far as education to dentists, and how can you help them in those areas?
Yeah, and it goes back to, again, your previous question. How do you avoid bad reviews? You do that by doing good work, right? And with that, I mean, education is an important part of it. In fact, my mission for DEO here in the U.S. is that we help doctors run the most clinically and financially implant practice possible. That's our mission. And that means it's a little bit different for every doctor. What every doctor needs might be a little bit different. But I do believe you can't run a financially successful practice over the long term if you're not doing good work. And I also believe you can't do great work for a long period of time if you're not profitable. And the piece that we do along with that is that we have an educational option where doctors can come anywhere from a one-day hands-on certification course where they do some pretty elaborate training on a typodont, everything from basic implant placements to sinus lifts to full arch treatment. We have other options if doctors are interested where we do multi-day and even week-long hands-on course where they actually get to treat patients live using the DeoNavi system too. So again, depending on what the doctor needs, we've got solutions from just basic certification on how to use the DeoNavi process to, placing your first implant with somebody looking over your shoulder on a live patient, doing bone grafts, full arch rehab, whatever it might be. We do actually have kind of our goal is to have something to help everybody take it to the next level, regardless of where they're starting from.
Yeah. And so, I always ask this question, Matt, and it's obviously we're looking for a non-biased answer but you have a great amount of experience in this industry. When you're looking for help, when you're deciding, hey, I'm either doing implants now and I want to go to the next level, I want to sharpen my skills, I want to offer better treatment to patients, or you're just kind of getting into this now, you have some interest in it and you want to move forward. How do you find the right people, the right company, the right products, those 3 Ps? How do you find, what are the right questions to ask before you decide to partner with a company?
Yeah. And again, my mission is just to help people be the most successful implant practice possible. Now, that might not even mean we can help them. Maybe there's a better way than what we do, and that's okay. And I think the important things to look for is, I think today it's important to ask, what role does technology play? We know that with cone beam technology, digital impressions, digital workflow, that can do a lot to make a doctor's job a lot easier and to really simulate and prepare for the best outcomes. So I think that's an important question. Um, Accuracy, what kind of accuracy, if you're talking about guided processes anyway, what kind of accuracy does this system provide? There is a pretty big difference from one surgical guide to another. They're not all the same. And if you're using a guided system that's only accurate within a few degrees, it's not the same as using one that's accurate in like half a degree of the plan. So I think that's a big one. And obviously, how do I get from an implant placement to really the end result, which is a final restoration that is going to be the best suited restoration of the patient? I think those are important things to ask of any implant company. How can you help me in those areas?
Yep, that makes sense to me. Matt, for someone to reach out, obviously check out the website, digitalacademy.com. Kind of what's that process if you're reaching out for the first time to get more information? What's that process going to look like for our listeners?
Yeah, you can just request some information right from that website, and we'll have the people who are local get in touch with you. We're also really proud to have Patterson Dental as our preferred distributor in the United States. So if you purchase supplies from Patterson Dental, you're also asked your Patterson Dental representative about DO Navi as well. And I can also there's a phone number you can call if some people prefer. It's 888-763-7890. And anyhow, with any one of those methods, we'd be happy to, explore what a doctor's needs are and see if there's something we can help with or not. So
awesome. Yeah. Matt, thanks so much for coming on the show and sharing with us. We really appreciate your time.
You bet. Thank you, Patrick. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yep. One more time, everyone, website for DO Navi is digitalacademy.com. Give it a shout. And again, Matt, thank you. Look forward to having you come back on soon.
Yeah, I would love that. Thanks.